Hi everyone, it's Casey YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to be doing part 2 of the Nathan Buckley situation. Now for those return magpies, welcome. If you're new to the channel, like, comment and subscribe. So look, as I did through the part 1, look, I still think Buckley had a couple years left before it's either we don't make finals or if we do, who knows. But having said that, I think we don't learn as much. I feel that we've had two coaches, the Malthouse and Buckley, of course, and before that it was Tony Shirley Matthews. Alright, so Buckley's been there, look, obviously 10 years. Simple solution to that. And I feel like it's a great time to talk about it because I feel he was the right man for the job. He took us into, and we'll talk about like 280 games career, 270 games as coach. Now that 270 games as coach, he's got a really good win-loss record, and we're forgetting as fans, and as people that do hate Bucks, and which is fine. Like, you're allowed to have your opinion of it. But I feel he would have been the right man for a couple of years. I think first time he coached, you know, he certainly had the players. He had the players. And I feel like when we do go into this plan of winning, making finals back in 2012, 2013, he had the list, if we remember correctly. But there's some players that he got rid of. We didn't want to pay Elvis for Del Thomas, who came out of contract at the end of 2013. So you go 400,000 compared to 700, and that's fine. But I feel like, for me, in most important situation, is that I look at the playing group, I look at the coaching staff. COVID's hit pretty hard, and we're all forgetting that. It certainly has hit pretty hard. We had Buckley, Harvey, and we had Sanderson in from Adelaide. And I think in hindsight, like, that's a really good, Buckley and Sanderson are friends, obviously, you know. So I think we should expect that, in a way, that have these, you know, that they're very good mates and all sorts of stuff. But having said that, I think we've learnt so much about Bucks that I don't think we've seen for a long time as well. How often do we see, you know, when we brought in Gary Hocking, we brought in Justin Lomia, we got rid of Rocker but got him as a ruck coach sort of type thing. It worked. It worked to the extreme lengths. Simple. As simple as that, it works, right? But this is the more reeling part, I think, that we've got in our lifetime now, is to see Buckley do really well, outside football. So the 14-17 was like a rebuild. We had to have it. Thought we were a bit stiff in some of the things that we did as a club. With back Bucks in the external review we had, we found that he was the man. Players want him. He had to change in a way a little bit, not expect too much from the playing group as well. And I feel like it was a good move. And look, at some point, it was going to happen. I ain't gonna lie. I had us top 4, 2020 and 2021. COVID hit pretty hard, and we're forgetting, as a football club, and the reason why I say as a football club, there's a lot of changes that were happening. And I know I might get criticised for saying this, as much as, it was good to do the Do Better report, and that all stuff that's happened. I felt like, as a fan, I felt like that fucked the club up. With Harry Lumumba, and look, he's a premiership player for us, and don't get me wrong, good player. But for him to come out and make these comments about the club, how, and I don't want to go in too much into details of that, but it feels like to me that we have to be better. It happened, but why didn't you stop it? That's the obvious thing. Like, if you don't stop it, how are you supposed to know as a person on how you feel? And I feel like, you know what, that stuffed up Eddie, that stuffed up the board. Obviously, in the end, the board pushed him out, and I tend to think that the club did, because with the board, it's wrong. I feel, well, now just looking back on it, reflecting on it, as much as possible, that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't. It's not worth the hassles. There might be some of the supporters. There might be some of the supporters from each club that has an issue like that, where it just happens everywhere. But yet they don't do a Do Better report. They don't put themselves in a situation where they investigate if there ever has been. What can we do better? Along with that, we're the only club that did it. I just felt like sometimes we just should shut our mouths, not have this Do Better report. And it's just a personal opinion. Like, it's good to see what happened back then. But whatever happened back then as well, coaches have changed now. We have changed as a society for the good and maybe sometimes for the bad. I feel like Indigenous players, they get the... they get treated equally compared to back then when it first happened. So why doesn't the AFL have an investigation on a do better report? Why doesn't the AFL force other clubs to do it? Well, are they scared to find something out? Compared to back then? Just feel like because we are a big club in Australia, it just feels like that it's not worth it. The intention of, okay, well, if we do a better report and you get people around it, okay, it's good to have someone to represent the Indigenous and represent, the Irish players and that sort of stuff, which is okay. Fair enough. That's what the club wanted. Who am I to say, oh no, you shouldn't be doing that? That's the club makes the decisions. And same thing in the EGM, and I'll get onto that later, is that at the end of the day, no one's bigger than the club. Buckley knew that. Eddie knew that. Did I agree with the jumper clash sometimes where... Did I agree with the jumper clash, how we should be wearing a clash that we haven't been wearing a clash Guernsey? The jumper Guernsey, the clash Guernseys, yeah, I think we should wear one. And I think all clubs should have at least 3 Guernseys, at least then, to avoid a clash. But you look at Adelaide, they've got, 4? Yellow, red, white. Giants have got their home. Their clash is mainly like their orange. And they got a charcoal black Guernsey against the Swans. Like, even that, there are times where I disagree with Eddie, but then there are times where I think clubs like Carlton don't wear one against us. Richmond doesn't wear one against us. We do. Essendon don't. So, I think at times I tend to disagree. I think it should be equal on that front. But with the whole Buck stuff, he was an assistant coach for 2010, 2011. And he really showed as a premiership assistant coach of having a good system, having, the good players in that position. I reckon the one move, that saved Leon Davis' career, if I were to be honest with you, because he struggles in finals, playing across the half-back line. And see how he goes. Try and turn him into a decent player. All Australian. So there's so many ways that I think we need to do as a club. Looking forward to it, like the EGM, I don't agree with that stuff. I don't. Hear me out, because I know I'm gonna cop it. I'm going to cop it through the comments of this. And, you know what? We as fans and members are on the outside of the club. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. There's politics into clubs, which I try not to go too far into it. Do I agree with getting players out into law and big money? I think bringing him helped, but let's be honest, some players aren't worth the big money that they're on. I'd rather pay right, if I were to be honest, I'd rather pay Pendlebury $700,000. Because at least that way I know with Pendles, he goes out there and fucking performs. He does his role for the club. Travis Cloak, the same thing. He struggled with his form because he was getting paid big bucks. Why? It doesn't help the situation. So you have to have a level of, okay, we had to have help around Travis Cloak in the forward line. This is what we had to do. And I feel like as a club that because of the mistakes that, let's be honest, that the list management probably maybe a little bit off the board, I go, okay, we'll pay this much. The coach might have a say, but it may not all be about dollars. Like getting Chris Wayne, turn his form around. Like on where he was playing, like in the forward line, put him on the wing, put him on a half-back flank, and his season, wow, just wow. Darcy Moore, sometimes when he struggles up forward, we turn into an all-Australian defender. And look what he's done. So the coaching staff can say, okay, we can see Darcy Moore as a defender. He can read the ball. Why not play him in that position? And that's what I like about the club, to do that. And you're always going to have players come and go, regardless on, you know, as much as we love them all, and might have our favourite players, eventually at some point, players are going to leave. Coaches are going to leave. So, it's a cycle that we live in as a club on top of that. And I feel that we need to get better by doing that. Obviously, the way that the game plan is now, Bucks has had a say in that, but also released the shackles and were able to play attacking football. And sometimes I'm critical of Bucks because he doesn't, how to say, he doesn't have fucking plan B. He can be stubborn as a coach sometimes, and that's why I think that can be great, but also that can be your downfall as well. On top of that, but Bucks has changed. Like we brought in players, Poulter, Bianco, Wilson, who he can show something, McCreary, who's shown something too, as well as a player that we got. McInnes is another one I'd like to see. You know, these type of players that we got. Josh Jacobs is a very good player. So, we got players in that we feel, okay, we can play finals with the amount of guys that we got. There will be list changes at the end of the year. I'm not going to talk about that yet. But we have seen what we can do as a club, and I feel this is an improvement for us. And if we can do this, I'm pretty sure that we can get the job done as much as possible. So, you know, as much as it's sad and it hurts that Bucks is leaving, I reckon we know about them all. The boys will be upset. I reckon this week's game and the bye that we're having, that's coming up, I reckon that the players will come out and perform for Bucks. So I think we will. And I think that for this matter, it's the attitude, well, you know what, we know Bucks is leaving. the emotion will be running high, but we'll go out there, we'll do our fucking job, we'll get over the line against Melbourne, we'll send Bucks out on a high. Robert Harvey comes in as coach, fresh in the face, he's been there since 2012, so realistically 9 years. And we'll see on what he will bring as well. But it's the way it is. Look, guys, I know I'm rambling on a little bit. As much as I would love to see Bucks 2 more years, and then probably either he gets tossed out or he quits. At the end of the day, he made the right decision for himself, I think. So, as much as I don't agree with it, we just have to suck it up. We just got stuck up with the decision. No one's bigger than the club, guys. We should remember that as fans. And as much as we get emotional and we have the attachment to our players and our coaches, I think was going to come at some point. So until then, like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Till next time, go the Pies. Bucks quit. He didn't get pushed out. And if we found out that was the case, and because COVID's hit, look, guys, a bit disappointing, but stick by it. We would be swapping clubs for every poor decision other clubs made, and we would be bagging other clubs for it. So, till then, see you with another video.